When Ocean Housing Group in St Austell embarked on a major refurbishment of their headquarters, it was imperative that the works had little or no impact on the business, and the system used was both thermally efficient and could provide free green electricity. Kingspan insulated panels work with the main contractor's Mighty Tilly Roofing to strip the existing roof and replace it with a Kingspan roof power panel system comprising of KS1000 RW and a crystalline PV module.
Kingspan are one of the market leaders in the insulated panels market, and they obviously always offer a very reliable service, have a very good technical background. Their services in providing advice during a project is second to none.
Kingspan's special relationship with Mighty Tilly has developed over a number of years. This contractor is a specialist in the refurbishment market, which clearly was well suited when Kingspan became involved in this particular project.
Ocean are right at the forefront of new technologies and green technologies, and anything we can do to actually reduce our bills and running costs benefits both the company and also tenants.
Kingspan offer the whole package in the roofing market. Obviously they offer the composite panels themselves, they also offer the grid and framework for the PV panels, so the whole system as a whole. And this is one thing that the client was very keen on, to have one supplier and one contractor.
Kingspan offer a complete service which includes a project feasibility study and full design service, which is all conducted before the project is started.
The initial design process of the PV part of the project, we have to take the building dimensions into account. The wind loading on the actual roof elevations is very important. We have to allow for the increased fix and detail for increased wind loads. Once we've assessed the areas we need to leave for wind loading and areas for access around the PV array, we can determine the available area for the actual PV install.
The contractor's operatives would be expected to have attended some form of training with regard to the removal of the asbestos cladding, the safe disposal, and ensure that they were wearing the correct protective equipment. With regard to the composite panels, through our field service team at Hollywell, we offer project-specific training on the installation of our products.
The PV panel went very well together with the composite panels which we installed. We installed the composite paneling system. This was very closely followed behind by the grid framework, and the PV panels snapped in very easily. The whole set went together very quickly.
The operational timeline was considered carefully prior to the commencement of this project. Now, in this particular instance, there were 4 slopes involved. Each slope was stripped and replaced with new composite panels within a 1-week period.
Installation was pleasing for the client because it kept us on programme, despite some very bad weather down in St Austell. So yeah, no problems at all, very pleased.
The PV array is 57.3 kilowatts peak. That consists of 273 Sharp 210 polycrystalline PV solar modules. The inverter we're using to change the DC current generated by the PV array is a Fronius CL60 inverter.
Particularly when you bear in mind that the solar panels conceal the roof system, which, if issues occurred afterwards, would make getting to those issues particularly difficult. So consequently, 2 visits were carried out during this particular project, one close to the start of the project and a further visit towards the end, to ensure that these requirements were fully maintained.
Kingspan Field Services support was second to none. They always have been. We've always found them very useful. This particular project didn't have any unusual problems that came up, but whenever they did, if there's anything small, they were always very quick and helpful to offer their support, and often came out to site to give us advice.
Thankfully for Ocean, it hasn't interrupted our day-to-day activity at all. When we did potentially face 1 or 2 problems, the contractors were absolutely brilliant and worked over the August bank holiday weekend, so we haven't had to move any staff out or abandon any of our meeting rooms for any of the events that take place in September. AGMs, tenants conference, been incredible to work with. Ocean over the last 2 to 3 years have put photovoltaics on all the new build, and they've proved incredibly successful both in running costs for tenants and for ourselves as an alternative form of heating.
Well, the client's been very happy throughout the project, right from our initial advice at the start, our survey, our quotation, and the actual installation. It was completed on time and within budget. So yeah, the client's very happy.
I think for all organisations, if you hit across something that can be benefit to other organisations, you should share that best practice. For others, they can actually themselves save money by going down the route of photovoltaics on roofs, both in offices and on their homes. Tenants will benefit, take them out of fuel poverty in part, and the organisations can save cash and reinvest that in other ways, creating jobs and training opportunities. So there are a number of lessons to be learnt and shared with everyone, really. Over the 25 years of the loan that we take out to put the panels on the roof, we'll save just under £250,000 on fuel bills, so in essence that's £10,000 per year.
In the 8 months from December 2010 to July 2011, the system produced 43,835.66 kilowatt hours of energy and saved 23.24 tonnes of CO2, approximately 17% more than predicted for those months. The output will continue to be tracked, providing valuable information on the actual performance of the systems in place.